All right, we are recording. Come on, McLeod.
Boy. Oh, ooh, look at that. Okay, that's really funny. All right, welcome to Sky Yoga. And tonight we're going to do a routine that's really based around bone strengthening and is osteoporosis safe. So this is something that anybody can do to help limit the negative impact of losing bone density over time. It's actually really interesting that we gain bone. We're always regrowing, right? We're always regrowing bone, but when we're younger, we're growing more quickly than we lose. And then right around 18, 19 years old, we've reached our kind of maximum bone density. And after that, we start to lose more than we gain. And that is part of what leads to problems with osteoporosis later in life. And as the research is that typically white women are the most likely to have osteoporosis. So these exercises, which are clinically demonstrated to benefit osteoporosis, are really, again, based around some good strengthening that will help the bones at least not lose so much mass. So, but we're always going to start with breathing. So just standing, just feel the ground. Feel how your feet feel on the ground. We don't need to change anything right now as you bring your attention to your feet and to your hips and your breathing. You might just be noticing it for the first time today. And as you breathe, and notice how you may find yourself breathing from the ground up and also out. So breathing in from the ground, expanding out in all 360 degrees of direction. And then letting go back to the ground. But we don't lose the connection. As you breathe in, your weight sinks down. Breathe in, but sink down. And breathe out, sink down. Notice the sound in the room. And notice your breathing and the sound in the room. The first pose is tree pose. And we did a little work on tree pose I guess about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I know that you're all the regulars with tree pose. So let's practice moving into the pose, and also give you something to think about in terms as far as staying in balance. So in order for our tree pose to be balanced, in the first place, our foot really needs to be directly underneath our center. And I've found oftentimes that if I'm moving into tree pose, that I'll tend to stay too much over the leg or not coming quite far enough. And the result of that is when I try to go up to balance, since I'm not over my trunk of the tree, then I'll start kind of tilting, right? So bring your center over, and in this position, maybe with the feet a little closer together, just rock side to side on the foot that's going to be load bearing. We spend a lot of time walking where we go toe to heel or heel to toe, and we're used to that circular movement. We may forget that our ankle also moves the other way, side to side. And this is one of the ways that you can stay in balance in the posture, is by keeping that motion in mind. We're not going to practice with the tree pose really high. We're going to keep it low. And any balance that feels off, just bring the foot back down or keep a chair nearby. The reason I'm saying that is you want to be cautious about rolling too much. This is good for strengthening, but I don't want anyone to roll their ankle. Okay. So going to your left side, find the center. Foot to calf. Knee out to the side, hands to heart center. Find your drishti, your focal point. Hips level, breathe into the pose. Movement is okay. Adjustments are fine. A tree is always adjusting in the wind. Okay. And come back, bring your feet back down. We're going to be holding these poses for maybe a minute. Some of you are way strong, or definitely strong enough to do longer than that. I don't know if I am. And now to your right side, or to the other side, whatever that was. Again, shift the hips over. Foot is directly underneath. Take a look down if you want to. My foot is directly beneath my hands at heart center. Find your balance. Wiggle your hips maybe. And then find your tree. Oops. Do a little better job. There it is. Yeah. Okay, come on down, since I'm the one who's losing my balance all the time. Next, moving into triangle. Take as wide a stance as you're comfortable in. Find your even points, so basically draw a line between your heels. And I'm not going to go really wide, because I don't need to. And I'm going to go to my left side. You can go to your right. Pick up the foot and pivot on the heel and set it down. Now it's at a right angle. So your heels are in line and one foot is at a right angle to the other. And we're going to go into triangle the way that I like to. So hands out, palms up, and then bring the arms so that we're at 12 and 6 o'clock. And now come down, keeping the arms at the position they were. So you don't go down, only go down as far as you're comfortable. The goal is not to go far down. The goal in this pose is to be able to stay between the panes of glass. And in this pose, you can also feel that upper arm going straight down, stacking on the joints. So the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder joint, and then down through the body. And my bottom arm is, for me, is just kind of loose. Also notice how this is feeling against that, the knee that's load bearing. If it's too much, rise up. And remember to breathe. And now rise up towards your hand into being more straight. Bring the arms back to lateral. Pivot that left, in my case, foot. And now pivot the right. We'll go to the other side. So again, move your clock to 6 o'clock, or it might be 12:30. And then find your way down. So I'm not pulling my arm up, my high arm. I'm not pulling it up. I'm letting it settle into the joint and stacked as if it were balancing. And I know right now I'm looking up at the arm. Something else I've been playing with is from this position, just letting my head with my eyes forward, just fall to the side. Let me get a little neck stretch. Keep the legs straight. Be careful of locking the knees. Don't hyperextend. Okay, pull up, arms out, and bring that right foot in. All right. And again, in this position, take the left foot, turn it, just like you did before. And from here, bend that left, in my case, left knee. I want your knee directly over the ankle. Slightly forward is okay, slightly back is okay, but when I say slightly, I mean about an inch. Ideally, you really want to be looking at that right angle, and that's for good, strong knees. The other thing to be watchful for is that knee isn't floating in. Keep that knee over the foot. That way the joints are stacked. The knee is directly above the ankle joint. Okay? And then with the arms still out, now we're in warrior two. I like doing palms up on this one. And the reason for that is because I was a fencer. So this to me is a fencing lunge. But another reason is by turning the arms with the palms up, that will naturally rotate the shoulders so they're a little bit more in the classic down and back. Careful of punching your butt out on this, and think about rolling your hips underneath you, pulling in your abdominals a bit. That strengthens this pose. It keeps it safer. It's very regal pose, I think. Okay. And pull back to center. Bring the foot in. Maybe give your arms a break. And turn the other foot out. So once again, the heels are in line here. This gives you a triangle, a right-angled triangle to form as your base. Arms up, arms out. Bend the right knee. And take a look, check it. People, when I taught fencing for 15 years or so, I always found that people didn't always have the right understanding of where the knee was in relation to the ankle. They would typically be further back. So you can almost always go a little bit further forward, but not always. Keep your head poised on top of the shoulders. The head floats, the neck on the neck. The neck floats on the shoulders. Sink into this. And recover. And bring your arms down again. And just stand. Okay, and once again on the other side. Pivot. Bend the knee. And this time, bring your shoulder, your elbow, I should really say the high part of the forearm down onto that surface. But make sure that the line is from the shoulder, down through the elbow, to the thigh, and then that line is the same as with the knee to the foot. Straight line if you look down at it. So we're stacked once again. Stack the joints. And then the other arm comes up and ideally over. Feel free to make little adjustments so that you know that you're able to relax into this and yet still feel supported. Okay. And come out of that pose the way you got into it, transitioning out. And from here, don't pull up and then over. Instead, use this anchor. You've got your arm anchored on your leg. You can even pull your hand back, maintaining contact, and push yourself up. Stay safe. Use your body to help your body. Okay, so now we're back into forward-facing triangle, or forward-facing or wide angle. Rotate the other foot. Bend. Support. Check your alignment. And arm comes over. And we look like a picture. A good picture. Okay. And safely push yourself out of that pose. And heel toe your way to back to standing. And make your way down to the ground. You do locust pose. So come on down to your belly and your chest. You still seem good. So with locust pose is really just going to be lifting the chest and lifting the legs at the same time. But you're also going to lift your arms, which are at your sides. Okay. And when you do this, often we've discussed doing a lot of focus on the lower back, but in this case, I really would like you to engage your glutes and your femoral biceps and your upper back. So you're going to actually be lifting yourself up like so. Arms are going to come off the ground. Don't hunch your shoulders, keep them in a natural position, I suppose. Legs straight, so the knees are coming off the ground. So this is important for protecting your lower back because your lower back is not a lifting mechanism. So strong gluteals, strong legs, actually are part of protecting and supporting your upper body and the lower back. Lower back is there primarily, or the lumbar muscles really help with keeping the spine and the rib cage able to do rotational movements, axial rotation, and keeping it stable. And so it's important for them to be strong for that, but you don't lift with your back. And so we need to also think about that when we're doing strengthening. Okay, and come on down. Take a little breather. Notice which muscles you just used. Okay, and then push up in a safe way and come to your back. Bring your heels. This is going to be a bridge pose, so you bring your heels to your butt, arms to the sides, next to your body, and keep your feet maybe about 4 to 6 inches apart, roughly. Knees pointed to the ceiling. Engage the abs. With the abs engaged and pressing down, your lower back is flat. And now raise, engaging your glutes and the lower back and your thigh muscles, quadriceps. Push your belly button to the sky. And make sure, try to bring your knees closer together. So don't let them fall out. Keep them straight. Again, that joint stacking. And from this position, clasp your hands together if you can. But try to roll your shoulders underneath you. I love this. Engage those glutes. That'll push you up. And now release the shoulders so those come back out to a natural position. And as Stephanie puts it, and I love, uncurl one vertebra at a time with control. Keep those abs engaged. I'm at my middle back. I'm just now getting to the lower back. Now I'm down to the hips. Oh, and now I can relax. Now the ground is fully supporting me. Check in with your head, neck, shoulders. Okay. And roll to one side. I forgot to say that we would be doing some strap work. If you have a strap handy, that'll be great. And if not, that's okay too. So first we're going to be doing a reclined hand to big toe facing up. That was my direction myself because I didn't want to bother living the asana. So lying in a corpse pose, bring your right leg up. And if you have a strap, take it around your big toes. That's what I'm going to do. If not, then just find a place to hold on behind your thigh. The key element on this is allowing the legs still to be straight. The goal here, the goal is not how far back you can go. It's how far back will you go today with your legs straight. If it's 45 degrees, fine. If it's I doubt if it's 170. If it's 100 degrees, wonderful. It doesn't matter. I have tight hamstrings. So this is about it for me. Relax the ankle as much as you can. And be sure you're not holding yourself up off the ground with your hips. Okay. Now take that. In my case, I have my right leg up, so I'm going to take it out away from me, gently, to the side. You may need to choke up on your strap if you have one. You could grab a pants leg to keep yourself in place. That's fine. I'm not sure why, but I feel this with my right leg out. I really feel a bit of a stretch in my left lower side. But I'm not saying that's where you feel it. And instead of bringing the leg straight up, just go ahead and you can release the strap or just relax and just bring the leg back to next to the left leg. You may have to, like I did, you probably have to raise your leg to get the strap off. Okay. So move to the left leg and just bring the knee up. Put your strap on. And then extend. And just find where you're. Just find where you're at today. That's better. And go ahead and take that out to the side. I'm going to run into the wall, so I'm going to be at about a 30-degree angle off the ground. And once again, just move the leg back into in line with the other. Basically, bring the bring the outer leg back to the other leg. That was surprisingly hard to describe. And you guys are in a great Shavasana position. I'm going to set things up for the meditation portion. If you need a little prop or something underneath your legs, go ahead. We're going to try a music-based meditation. Part of the root of meditation is to be attentive to one thing. And when your mind wanders, just notice and come back to that one thing. Breathing is classic because our breath is always with us. for this music meditation, hello, McLeod. I'm going to make two suggestions to you. One, pay attention to every note. If there are two notes together, notice that as well. Pay attention to every note, moment by moment. And the second is, as you're listening, don't assign any particular meaning to what you hear. It's music, but for you, it's just sound. And maybe treat it that way. your own time, make your way to your side and then to seated. Do it gently and gracefully. I'll give you a couple minutes. Thanks for practicing with me tonight. Namaste.